Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome everyone out here to South Field. This is the opening game of the season, or the home opener at least, for BYU Cougars. We'd like to welcome everyone out here to the field. And as is customary, before we get underway, we would like to invite one of the BYU ex-players to offer a word of prayer.
Heavenly Father, we bow down before you this time. We're grateful for the many blessings that have blessed us. Grateful for the Air Force Academy and BYU Rugby. Be able to play the sport that we love. We absolutely love. Please bless each and every one of us that we may return home safely after the game, and we say these things in Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you for that. Just waiting for the last BYU to get ready to enter the field so we can get this game underway. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like a big warm welcome to the Air Force Academy. The Falcons are also known as the Zoomies. Big welcome here to South
Home opener for Brigham Young University versus the United States Academy. My name is Mark Ormsby, and alongside me today providing game analysis is my good friend Justin Nadal. Today's weather couldn't be better. We do have an overcast, but the temperature's up there at 60 degrees and we have a slight breeze out of the east. These two teams have met on many occasions, and they both have quite a reputation as far as reaching national championship games and winning those games. Air Force has won 3 national championships in 89, 90 and 03, and BYU has won 5, the first one coming in 2009, and for the last 4 years, 2012, 13, 14 and 15. Air Force will be dressed in their touring white kit, and BYU will be in their traditional dark navy blue with white stripes as well. The referee in the middle today is Jason Shepard, and his assistants on the sideline are 2 Utah Rugby referee officials, Wes Tuia and David Leckie.
Can I stand up?
That goes for me too. lineup for the Air Force Falcons. Number 1, the loose head prop position is McCourt Thorley. At number 2, the hooker position is Dallas Moore. And at the tight head position is Joe Carl. The locks for the Air Force is Greiger, Kurdish Koshvili, and Ben Basham. And the loose forward group is Hunter Hancock at number 6, the blindside flanker. Elliot Higgins wearing the number 7 jersey on the open side. And Kalana Miller, he will be stepping in there at the scrum half position. The other flanker is also there, and his name is Elliot Higgins, and wearing the number 7. Let's see here, in the halfback position, we have Kalana Miller, like I've mentioned, starting to be in the 10 jersey, which will be the position to control the backline for the Falcons, will be Matt Fisher. Appearing in the midfield, we have Ben Burmessler wearing the number 12 jersey, and Jace Miller wearing the number 13. And the back three, Colin Culver at number 11, Braden Smith 14, and Will Mashmeyer in the 15 jersey. BYU Cougars number 1 is Zane Mendenhall, hooker Alex Forster, Ricky Tui, Matthew Jensen is a lock, along with Johnny Lane. And we get the kickoff. Taken in by Air Force. He's elected to go to ground just outside the 22 metre. Launches it across into the middle. Air Force is controlling this at this point, but BYU is putting in a solid defence. In fact, BYU has turned it over. Out to number 7. Elkington drives out to number 6. Kaka passes it, goes out to the wing. As he manages to keep it in, no, it's gone over the sideline. So it'll be a line out, 5 to 10 metres inside the Air Force 22.
You know, one of the things the coaches talk to the deep three about, especially the wings, is staying on your feet and staying in bounds. You know, nothing good happens when the ball goes out of bounds there, guys.
Yeah, that's for sure, Justin. Lineout's in the middle. BYU taps it off. Lockie attempts to pick it up. Still there. Now he moves it out to the back line. It's moving out wide to the winger. Number 11, Anderson's got it. Goes to ground, sets up the ruck. Number 7, Elkington drives through, sets up another ruck. Referee doesn't like this. He's called a penalty against the Air Force. And he's indicated a holding of the tackler, I should say the ball carrier, and has penalised Air Force.
So BYU have started the game heading toward the west, with Air Force going towards the east. I think there's a little breeze in BYU's face. It's not much, though. It won't affect the game much. Yeah,
that's coming out of the east, and it's quite slight on that one. Line out, taken by BYU. Air Force takes it to ground so that they don't set up a maul, BYU maul. It's out. Whippy.
Oh, they had numbers
Whippy
wide.
to Weber. Whippy, Weber, and he has lost it. We've got a try gone begging there.
Yeah, that's an easy score. He's got to hang on to that and just put it down and move on.
BYU sets out wide on the left side of the scrum. That appears to be the option here.
Crouch. Bind.
Air Force is put in.
Set. And please. Leave it.
Solid scrum by Air Force. Drive off the back by Kyles. And we have a clearing kick by Fisher. And that takes the line out to the 22 metre.
Go back. Nope.
Here's another really good opportunity for BYU to try and punch it in. They've been down in this end of the field the whole game, and tackled out of bounds one time, knocked on one time. Let's see if they can put it in this time.
Short line out. Out to Whippy. Ball's gone to ground, and here we go. Air Force is attacking down the field. It's inside BYU territory at the 10 metre line. BYU gets back there. Whippy's on the ground. He's secured possession.
Ball's out.
And there's a turnover. Air Force has taken the advantage and chipped through. Jensen has picked up, gathered, and
Lead
sets
tackle.
his forward pack going forward again.
That's fine.
Moggie's waiting for this here. He's marshalling his forward pack there to keep it clean.
Leave it white.
There's still a pick and
Come
go
in from
there.
the gate, please. Wait.
Air Force is setting a flat defensive line out here.
Oh,
Whistle's
release
gone.
it.
Penalty.
Yeah, the tackler.
He's called another
Back to him, please.
holding on.
Points.
Now that particular penalty is for a not releasing the ball carrier, and that goes against BYU, about 10 metres out from BYU's 22 metre.
Yeah.
I was watching their kicker before the game started. He's got a pretty big leg,
So,
and he looked to be pretty accurate from angles too.
so anything inside out to the 50 would BYU would want to be worried about.
Seems like it, yeah.
Basham to kick. Steps in. And he's hit a well-struck ball. Takes Air Force up by 3 points. So it's 3-0 Air Force.
Kind of a change of momentum there quickly, wasn't it, Mark?
Yeah, you're right there, Justin.
Both
He
sides,
had
I want a
plenty of
clear
length
release
on
to
that kick.
tackle, please.
So yes, that's a warning sign for the BYU Cougars. Any infringement within their own half, they could be paying for that. Whippy to start with a dropout. Goes high. This is a deep one, and he's overcooked it. It's gone out on the full, so we will go back for a scrum at midfield.
So you have to be behind the ball at all times. If it goes, you can't come around the flank at all.
Lockie is asking the referee about positioning
So
at those last rucks.
you're fine there.
He's
You
wondering
can't go here.
if his position's okay. Just a clarification.
Crouch. Bind. Set. And
Oh, BYU's got a shove on here, but Air Force gets it out. It goes wide. It's out to Bush.
give his head.
Miller. He goes to ground.
Play on.
Oh, and it's picked off.
Release.
BYU has turned this over.
That's fine.
Anderson has
Okay.
picked it.
Nobody deep. Oh.
Mikey
Guys,
puts a
knock
high
on
one
blue.
there, and there's a knock on by BYU.
Knock out.
It'll be interesting to watch when the ball gets turned over like that, if Air Force is able to put anybody back to cover the kicks. That time they didn't have anybody back, and we kind of didn't see the field back there.
Let's go, guys.
Air Force
Crouch.
scrum.
Bind. Set. And
Strike. We have a downed front row player.
guys, up. Flaps.
Loose head prop Thorley has gone down,
Fine on the body.
and the referee has elected to reset.
Reset. All right, come a little this way. There's a mark.
There's no give in either of these teams at this point, Justin. They're holding their position quite well, but from the last one, BYU did get a push
Crouch.
on and moved it Air Force's way.
Bind. Set.
The feed.
Use
Miller
it.
waits. In
Bind
fact,
it.
it's picked up by number 8, Kyles.
You're still offside. Ball was not out. Ball was not out of the scrum.
Now the referee adjudicates that it was not out of the scrum and
Ball
has
has to come out
nailed
of the scrum
the
before you
number
can
8,
get
Pikula, for coming around offside. Now what do we see here? We're seeing an attempted field goal here, and it looks like it's at the 52, 53 metre mark. He's elected for goal. So what we were saying a minute ago, Justin, is what we need to watch throughout this game. Any penalty within, and it obviously now, even just over the 50 metre line, this young man, his name is Kurdish Koshvili, He can knock it from this distance easily.
This is number 5, Ben Basham. He's a lock.
Oh, he's Basham.
You don't often see a lock kicking for points, do you?
No, you
Maybe
don't
that's where
see locks.
That's where the distance is coming from, those big legs of his.
In fact, there's a notable lock on the international scene that used to kick, and his name, well, he was the lock for the Wallabies.
Yeah,
John Eales.
Missed that ball, misstruck. It looked like his toe was up a
22,
little
guys,
bit,
22.
pulled it across him.
No, he didn't get under that very well. So it'll be a 22-metre dropout for BYU.
I'm sure the BYU coaches want their boys to get the ball back down on the other end of the field. There's no sense playing on this half. They've got to keep it down in the other half and keep the scoring options alive.
Whippy, it's a deep dropout. Comes down just outside the Air Force 22. It's crossed over to number 9, and Fisher drives it back down into BYU territory. It's picked up by Anderson. Whippy, Joshua Whippy. Oh, and there's another
Guys,
turnover.
Knock on there. Scrum.
There's Joshua Whippy. He passes it out, and
Side.
That was Jared to Josh, the twins.
Josh.
Was that forward or was it
No.
a flat pass? He just dropped it.
Jared just passed it, and
It's here,
Joshua didn't have
Fine.
his eye on the ball.
Sit.
Scrum, Air Force. Fisher. Okay, blindside winger comes in. He sets the ruck. BYU's defensive line is flat and comes up
Leave
quick.
his neck.
Now, it'll be
Leave it
interesting to
sec-
see who gets this. No, Air Force gets this.
Leave his neck. Leave it.
Smith. Out to Fisher.
Roll
Fisher
right, 13.
goes to ground. Now, the option was left, but he was
Got
picked
it.
off.
Guys,
Picked off by
don't
Jensen.
knock on by White.
There's a few turnovers
Don't
at this
knock on by
stage of the
White's
game,
tackle.
Justin.
Yeah, there are. You know, an interesting tidbit here. A couple of the backs for the Air Force Academy are from American Fork, Utah, just up the road here. Jace Miller at 13 is a true freshman right out of high school, and his brother, number 9, the scrum half.
Good, guys.
Jace actually played
Crouch.
Little League football for me. When
Fine.
I coached him a couple of years ago in
Sit.
football. This is his first year of rugby.
Wow.
Use it.
BYU scrum. Lockie out. Whippy. He launches it down in the open field. Nobody back there.
Yeah, he saw that. That's
Smith
nice.
is going back. He turns, looks to see if anyone's coming. Nobody's behind him. He has one man in support. Schofield's there with him. And this could be in favour of
Out, guys,
BYU.
out.
Yes. BYU has
Good ball.
taken them out over the line. So it'll be a line out 5
Wow.
metres inside Air Force's 22-metre.
That was a lot better kick chase than some of the ones we saw last week. I know it's early in the game, so they're
Numbers white.
still not tired, but they covered that really well.
Yeah, they got up there. Lockie. Out to Elkington. Elkington drives. He takes on one player. And he's over. Brilliant individual try there by Elkington. Solid player, Justin.
He's a great player. Let's watch the replay. I think he broke 3 or 4 tackles. Let's see.
Yeah, Elkington, look at that. Look at that jink.
1, 2,
Oh, and
3,
he knocks 1, 2, 3,
4.
4 defenders. Now,
Great
if-
effort. Great effort.
If Air Force intends to win this game, their defense has to be picked up for Elkington to take on 4 and leave them in his wake. That's a bad sign for Air Force.
So last week, the kicks, they kind of split up between Jared Whippy and Calvin Whiting. This week they've decided to go with Calvin on all of the conversions and penalties and see if he can kind of lock that position down and stay focused and put some points on the board that way.
And it is a good conversion. So BYU 7, Air Force 3. Miller to start in the middle. He launches a deep one. It's down halfway between the goal line and the 22-metre. Jared Whippy, he wants to clear this up.
Wow.
Hasn't gone out, but it has not gone out. So it'll be a counter-attack by Air Force. Blindside winger comes in. That's a good pass out to Bermslayer.
Leave it blue. That's a ruck.
Referee is allowing this to go.
BYU's got it.
BYU has turned it over.
back.
It's a scrappy ball in the background. It's gone wide. Whippy sidesteps. Jinx passes back in. Passes back into his number 6.
Off his feet. Leave it.
Still moving. BYU's picking these guys off. Whippy is still moving down the field.
That's Joe Pakula. He's
There's
hard to bring down.
Great progression down the field. Plenty of yards on that drive.
Here's that.
Air Force looks like they've turned this one over.
Taken in.
And they have.
It stayed in.
Now, of course, he couldn't kick that out on the full and expect
Didn't
the
take it
yardage
out.
because it was passed back inside. Here we go. Lockie chips it through. What's happening here? Oh, he's there too. Supporters there.
Lay it on the ground.
Now, what has
Lay it
the
on the
referee
ground, guys.
called here?
Lay it on the ground.
He's calling
the ground.
playing on the ground.
Lay it on the ground.
And of course, in rugby, we know that we cannot play
Gotta
the
be on your
game
feet.
of rugby on the ground. We must be on our feet to do that.
He's got a pretty tight angle on the kick. You wouldn't expect him to be able to make a lot of yardage on this penalty kick, but they'll maintain possession anyway, won't they?
Makes it even harder if he's right-footed, which he is.
Yep, stayed
this
in. That's a hard kick.
This hasn't gone out. Mocky sends it over into the centres. Whippy looking for support. Fires it a wide one.
Nice up.
Out to Schofield. This looks like something. Is there support? No.
Out, guys.
BYU has not managed to keep this in and has turned it back into Air Force's hands with a line out.
Maybe young Kevin Schofield could have given that ball up a little bit sooner, drawing that defender. And
Yes. Here's a replay. Schofield, let's see. Well, the pass was there.
hard to tell from that
Guys,
angle.
accident
Earlier on, he
offside.
had a man outside of him.
Thank you, own player. Scrum to blue. I don't want to hear.
So accidental offside here. And BYU will get
Have you read-
the put-in at the scrum. Mocky looks out to his first 5'8",
Crouch.
Jared Whippy. They're
Fine.
calling a play here, set piece. We'll see how good these are.
Blind wing looks like he's ready to come in. Schofield's
Guys, up,
lined
up,
up
up, up.
behind the
Blue,
Whippy.
that's the first warning. Don't
Number
push before the
14,
ball,
Schofield,
okay?
yes.
Last warning. Reset.
This,
They
what's
have-
that, Justin?
Sorry, they have a lot of moves
Wait
where
for the
they
call.
can bring that blind wing in, and he'll kind of sit in the shadow of the 10
Crouch.
and then break off to the inside
Fine.
or break off to the outside, depending on what the defense
Sit.
shows. And he's a big, strong, fast runner. He can make some do some damage there.
Use that.
Moky's got the feed, fires it out to Jared. Whippy. Whiting, long pass out. Left winger. Is that a try?
Josh Anderson.
Try to Josh Anderson. Now that was a pretty straightforward attacking line there.
Yeah, missed pass, missed the blind wing, missed the center. Put the ball out there faster than they can get their defense out there. Josh Anderson's come a long way. He's played for us now. I think this is his 3rd year, maybe his 4th year. Right out of high school, he played football, I believe, at the University of Utah. Served an LDS mission and came home from the mission and transferred down to BYU. He's a very fast player, really tall. He's got some physicality on offense, and his defense has really improved. Last season got really more aggressive in his tackling, I guess.
You'll see that more and more these days in the international game. Tall wingers.
Yeah. The rangy, the long legs, right? Get
when
get
they
moving
get
downfield.
When they get moving, they're gone.
This is Calvin Whiting, and he's a lefty, so being on this side of the field is not exactly what you
Now that
like to
looks
see.
It looks pretty good, actually. No. Looks like he's pulled it to the left. Now the sun's gone. We've got plenty of cloud cover here. So nobody's going to be disadvantaged with the sun in their eyes. It's kicked off. Goes back to the middle of BYU's 22. Whippy launches it downfield. Nobody wants to catch it. They do now. Smith takes off. He's a big strapping lock, isn't he?
Yeah.
Stay on your feet, please.
BYU's counted on this one. They've turned it. Still going. Mockey's waiting for it.
White ball.
In fact, he's gone in to get it.
Leave it, blue.
Oh.
Fine edge.
Turnover again. Air Force.
Blue, offsides in the ruck here.
We have an offside call.
Offsides.
I haven't kept track, but
Need
it
to
seems like
retreat.
BYU have had a lot of counter rucks where we've stolen the ball when it was Air Force possession. That's something that Coach Tarafitti is going to be really excited to see.
Fisher looks to kick. And he's gained some decent ground here. Almost to the BYU 10-metre line.
Take 10, please. Fine, Judge.
That wasn't exactly
Eyes not
straight.
What do you like?
Referee calls it as
Scrum.
such. So it'll be a BYU scrum.
So while they're getting ready to throw it in, I need to ask Mark a
That's
question. Mark has been a coach, coached here at BYU. He's a longtime referee, and now you're an analyst. When you watch this game, do you watch it from a coach's perspective, a referee perspective, an analyst
go,
perspective?
guys.
Are you able to combine all three of those?
Well, I try to have all three hats on,
Crouch.
but today I've got my commentator hat on, and
There you
so
go.
I'm basically calling the plays as I see them.
Yeah.
And you're the guy that gives the analysis to the game, and I appreciate that for sure, because I'd be lost. Mockey, out to Whippy. Mockey again,
Great
does a
loop.
counter around, cuts through on the inside, looking for support on the outside. Weber has it, keeps his hands open, passes it in, but doesn't connect.
Knock on, guys. Knock on by blue.
That was Josh Whippy at the end. Kind of ran out of space,
Knock
ran
on
out of
there, knock
options
on
as
by
they
blue.
covered on
Scrum.
defense. They had a three-man overlap early, didn't they?
Yeah, that's
Here comes, yeah, we got three
Here we
men
go.
out there.
Whippy's there. He looks for support. He's trying to get the pass off.
Time off, time
Yeah.
off.
Now we have a stoppage here. Somebody's injured on the sideline. You see who that is, Justin?
Looks like a BYU player. I can't tell who it is. Oh, it's Josh Whippy,
Oh,
the ball carrier on that last possession.
now during the stoppage, I just want to highlight that these two teams have
Let's go,
been
guys. Let's go.
versed in the national
on.
game, played at the biggest level possible. So this sort of rivalry is
White
something
scrum.
that we enjoy watching whenever we can. BYU versus Air Force.
Crouch.
Looks like they've just
Fine.
got Josh off the side, and
Thick. And
they haven't brought on a replacement. It looks like they're going to work on his calf or his leg or whatever's going on and try and get him back
that's
on.
fine.
BYU drives Air
Leave
Force
it,
back.
blue. Ruckus ball.
Air Force maintains possession, however. Goes back. The clearance is
Oh.
there, but it's been blocked.
Charge down. The scrum. I mean, it's truck.
Has he given it to him?
Is that a try? It looks like BYU has done a charge down, and as a result, BYU scored the try. Now somebody's
knocked it
injured
down.
here again.
The charge down, and then you can drop on it.
That's Ricky.
Ricky's hurt, is he?
You're allowed to, if you charge it, it's not a knock on.
See the replay. It's a low kick. It comes right off of the end of his foot. Yeah, Ricky
Oh,
charged
it
it
was-
down and scored the try.
It was actually charged down in goal. I'm sure BYU would enjoy that.
Well, we got to see if Calvin can make this kick. This is a good spot for him from the 22 and the 15. It's on the right side of the field, so it suits his eye well for a left-footed kicker, doesn't
So
it?
he's a left-footed kicker,
He's a
isn't
lefty,
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, BYU's had some great kickers over the years. our most recent, Johnny Lynham. Kelvin Whiting sets up.
Oh,
He's just crept that in.
he's just kind of scooting it. He's kind of poking it, isn't he?
Yeah, that was a bit of a punch through.
Yeah, it didn't look like a clean stroke.
Never mind, it's made the points. So BYU now at 17, Air Force 3. And now,
Not 10, guys.
no, it
Not
hasn't
10.
reached the 10 yards. So BYU has an option here, and they've gone for the option of a scrum in midfield. If it doesn't reach the 10 metres and is played by the opposition,
Blue scrum.
then it can go on. But because BYU didn't play it, they have an option to have a scrum in midfield.
Well, as a former backs coach and a former back, you got to be licking your chops at a center scrum here.
Yeah, we've got a split
Yeah,
field, don't we?
Split them up.
Plenty of options available. We go right, Mocky.
We
Out
got
to
numbers
Whippy.
on the outside. Here we come.
Let's see if Schofield's got the pace. Oh. No, just forced out.
Out, guys.
Just forced out at the Air
White
Force
ball.
5-metre line.
Well, that's the fourth time they've got the ball out to Schofield on that wing in the first 24 minutes of the game. We've got to get some points out of these.
Let's see how he takes him. Takes him low.
That's a good tackle. Couldn't tell from the angle how close he was to the touchline there.
Air Force takes the line.
Play on.
It's up the front.
The maul.
They set them all.
Use it, White.
Miller kicks high. Is it out? Yes, he's taken it out. So Schofield has straddled the sideline to make sure that'll be a BYU put-in on the next line out.
Getting a little instruction
Back then, White.
from one of the coaches. See if we can get a little bit different finish on the next one.
Line it in the middle. Hockey out to Elkington. Whippy. This is great timing of the pass. And this is a great run.
Got an inside support.
Is he there? I
Knocked
think he's
forward.
got there,
Knocked
has
on,
he?
Blue.
Oh, no, he's knocked it on.
Knocked down.
Full knock on there, guys.
They ran that dummy runner, the center, through the middle, held the defense, and then made the cut pass and sent him free.
Here he
it comes.
Whippy gives a
It's Calvin Whiting.
pass. Kelvin Whiting takes off. Here we go. Oh, we got clipped. And he has turned it over.
Had Weber
Fine.
just on the inside, didn't he?
Set.
Now BYU is knocking on
On
Air
straight.
Force's door here. They've got a great drive going here. BYU has actually turned it over. And the try. The try to Kaka. Jackson Kaka scoots around the side, dots it down.
See how we won this. Did we steal this at the put-in? Oh,
Look
we
at that.
drove over it.
Yeah, look. Air Force actually won the hook, but because of BYU's pressure, they managed to drive them off, and of course the try comes.
He came around the back and he gave that little dummy pass, and it set the defense out, and he cut back inside. That's a nice play by
That's all right.
Jackson.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now at times Air Force seems to be lost in some of their defensive patterns here. Of course, anytime you have a scrum in the midfield, as a defending team, you've got your task set out for you.
Yeah, it's hard to cover both sides, and then when the offense sends a man over and gets the overlap, you have to really scramble to cover. Let's see if he.
Whiting lines it up. And this time it's good. So
It makes him, what, 3 for 4 on conversions today?
BYU is applying the pressure. We're 27 minutes into the first half, and BYU is up 26-3. Kick off. It's taken down by Mocky at midfield in the 22.
Well,
Whippy.
they're not going to kick out of the 22. They're going to
These are
run it
They've
out.
out.
decided to run it here. They see an opportunity. Forwards have taken it.
They've got numbers on the outside.
On edge. Lost forward in the tackle, guys. Forward in the tackle. White ball.
Being early in the season, you can expect a few
Blue,
turnovers.
no early push, please.
I'm sure Coach Smith wouldn't like seeing what he's seeing.
Crouch. Fine. Sit.
See what BYU does on this scrum. Once again, they apply the pressure.
Balls out.
In fact, they've turned it over.
Yeah. Pakula and Joe Pakula down the side.
Here we go. Joe's got him. He just muscles him off.
Oh, boy.
Anybody with him? He's that close. Oh, and it's knocked on by Mocky.
Knock on, guys. Knock on.
They had the opportunity there. All they had to do was execute.
Knock on, Blue.
Let's see on the replay if you had a couple of, he had a couple of guys in support. Josh Anderson right behind him. Looks like Johnny Lane both outside of him at this point.
And there's the knock.
Tough.
Okay.
It's hard to be patient when you see the try line, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Fine.
Right, scrum. Air Force.
Sit.
Yeah, there's this BYU scrum seems to be solid today.
Yeah, they've
The Air
got the
Force has held
advantage.
this one.
Leave it, Blue.
They've acquitted themselves nicely on this one. 5 metres out from their goal line. Sent back in, and Fisher clears this one. Halfway between the goal line and the 22-metre.
Yeah, when BYU is going to be on
Fine.
attack and from inside
He
the
can stand
22,
his
this
ground,
is a prime
He's just
opportunity
standing his
here.
ground.
They just need to run some
He's just
straight
standing his
lines
ground.
and be patient.
Sun's come out.
In or out, in or out.
Full line out. Air Force elects to...
Wait.
No, BYU elects to go in the front. They've moved it
Play
a
it.
couple of
Use
metres
it.
upfield, set the ruck. No, it's a ball. Now it's
Roll
down on
away,
the ground.
right. Fine.
Hockey waits
Leave it,
patiently. You're going to pick and roll again. Pick and go. Another one. This will be forcing Air Force's back
He was
line
on
back.
his feet, guys. He's on his feet. It'll lead away. 10.
Once again, BYU's penalised for holding on while on the ground.
It's tough to get down there that close and lose your patience and turn it over, isn't it?
Clearance by Fisher.
So BYU obviously has the advantage in the scrum. You know, whether they're lower or have a little bit better technique, whatever the issues are, but they seem to be,
Numbers, Blue.
you know, winning their own put-ins and Air Force put-ins at this point.
Yeah, we're seeing some domination here in the BYU forwards, particularly in the scrums. Mocky
Balls out.
setting a ruck again. Now it goes wide. Jared Whippy out.
Missed two.
Schofield, what's he doing? He stays on his feet.
There
This
you
is
go.
going to be a try to Schofield.
Good finish. Good finish. He is a big, strong, fast kid. Those first 4 attempts, he didn't find his support and didn't break the tackles that time. He just looked pretty determined to get it in there.
Yeah, Schofield, he stayed high on this one. And of course the Air Force defender,
Look at that missed pass.
as we can see here, goes up high. And that's usually the result when you go up high on a bigger man. Try. So we've got 8 minutes to the half.
You know, it was nicely done. They kept it inside with the forwards for a couple of phases, right? Picked and jammed. And then when it was on, a big cut pass, missed 2 players out to the wing and scored it. That's kind of how you draw it up as a coach.
Yeah, Whippy, Jared, he sends it out wide. Hits Schofield on the full. Away he goes. Kelvin Whiting. And this stays true.
Nice kick.
Good kick.
Calvin was
Whiting.
Calvin
I'm
was
looking
excited
at
this
you,
week.
so
I went down for a little
just-
kicking session with the guys on Wednesday, and he had a brand new kicking tee. And you know, every kicker gets excited about a new tee. And he had the ball set up a little bit differently and the tee set up differently, and he thought it gave him a really good advantage. And he's, what is he, 4 for 5 today?
Yeah, he's there. I think he's only missed one. Here we go. BYU driving forward. Just on their 10-meter line. It's a knock on.
White, do you want to knock on or line out?
Now the option here is the referee's called either a line out or a scrum. That's because the ball was lost and went out over the sideline. So in the modern ruling on that, you either get a choice of a line out or a scrum, and Air Force has elected the scrum.
Crouch. Fine. Sit.
Miller feeds. BYU once again drives them over.
Let me referee it. Let me referee it, okay? I don't want to hear. Just reset, guys, reset.
Now, that was an interesting call on that one, Justin, because knowing how strong BYU is in there with their scrummaging and Air Force electing for the scrum, I'm at odds with that one.
Fine.
Yeah, because like you said, they had the option for the line out, right? Yeah.
Up, both sides, up. Hey,
referee not happy with the set on this.
Both sides, keep it steady. Reset. Hold on.
Well, my guess is if you've been pushed around a little bit in the scrum, you're going to be a little anxious on the put-in, and you may start pushing a bit soon. And from the other side, if you've been dominating the scrums, you're probably going to be anxious to dominate another one, and both sides are moving prior to the ball being put in.
Crouch. Fine.
Let's see how this one goes.
Sit.
Miller feeds. Well won by Air Force. He gets it out. Fisher. A bit of a miscommunication on this one.
Was it held?
That wasn't really clean ball going wide.
Use it.
Miller looks behind him. Nobody there. Air Force could be in trouble here. No, but they've won their own messed up ball. Air Force driving forward over the 50-meter line. Still moving here. 3-on-3.
Roll away, Blue.
Fullback
That's
involved
the
there. Now you see these days
fine.
backline players getting involved with rucks and mauls.
BYU's defense is in really good position. They're nice and flat. For the most part, they're coming up together. That time they didn't, and you can see they left a little hole there.
Air Force is moving.
Play on, Blue.
At the BYU 10-meter line. BYU's picked it off. It's a turnover again.
Good. Use it. You gotta listen to me.
Now what's he
Take too
calling
long.
here?
Didn't use the ball fast enough off the back of the ruck.
Luke,
from the scrum half, was calling for some of the forwards to come in. It looked like he wanted to do some pick and jamming. And the referee asked him to use it, and he didn't.
30 seconds.
Give it away.
Actually, 5 seconds, really, but most referees. Crouch. Fine. Sit.
Okay, it's stable to begin with. Well hooked.
No.
Miller to Fisher. Fisher sells the fake pass. Culver spins off one tackle.
Release
Goes
tackle.
to ground.
Release the tackle. Use it.
Miller looks around, takes the right side option. Forwards, driving
Release
forward,
the
but they're not
tackler.
making any ground
6.
on BYU's defense. Still not making ground.
No.
Cleared from the scrum. And that looks to be like a knock on.
Nice little knock on there by White.
There seems to be a lack of concentration at times with the Air Force backline. And that would cause some of this dilemma that they're facing.
Yeah, they're having what we call handling errors.
There you go.
And I'm not sure if it's because the BYU defense is up so quickly that they're, they're hearing steps.
Fine.
But maybe the timing's off.
I think the first one you said there would be the case. Mocky Whippy, Mocky. Let's see what's happened here.
Oh, it's turned
been
over.
picked off.
Play on.
Air Force is moving it back down the field.
Kept the ball in bounds.
Leave it, Blue. Coming in from the side, Blue. You're going to come around the gate. Penalty
Side
device.
entry,
End of the
BYU.
side.
Now, because of that, BYU's forced to back up 10 to their midway point. Air Force is let off here.
It's going to stay in, no?
Has this one gone out? Yes, it has gone out. Just to cover what we've just seen there, side entry is where a referee will identify a player coming in from the side. And we know that in rugby you must enter from your side of the field at any of those formations. Line out, Air Force. Oh,
Signage.
it's going high, but he's knocked it on. So BYU ball.
Signage over.
Whippy. Out to Whippy.
Guys, forward.
Now this is an unforced error again. We don't know that the referee has called this. It's always exciting to see this sort of thing carry on, but it'll be for naught.
Young Blazer think he's scored, but he
Forward
hasn't.
pass, guys.
It'll be coming back,
Forward.
and Blazer's down there with his hands on his hips saying, "What? Me?" Never mind.
Forward.
So we'll be coming back for a scrum to
Okay.
Air Force. BYU committed the error of a forward pass,
What's that?
and if it hadn't,
Last movement.
it would have been 5 points BYU. Air Force backline's lining up on a
Crouch. Fine.
deep set here.
Sit.
They're pretty steep. They're kind of close together.
The blindside wing has come off his side.
Yeah. Now they've stretched it.
Ball's out.
BYU once again turns it over. Mocky, he goes, looks for support. Whippy out to Schofield. Schofield says, "Yeah, take me on." He keeps it in.
Play on.
Of course, Air Force has regained possession here. And Air Force launches it downfield. Blazer,
Retreat.
he kicks it back at them.
Right back out.
Play
That's
it.
a good pickup there. A Minor sends it out there looking for a support.
Leave it, Blue. Ball's out.
Defense is up quickly again. You can see how
Right
that
back.
disrupts their.
Yeah, you could see Higgins take his eye off the ball there for a second. Kyles goes to the ground, sets it up nicely for Miller.
The ball's not out.
Now Miller
Ball
takes
was not
on
out,
the
guys. Ball
sort
was
of
not out.
players in
Ball was not out.
number 7 BYU's Elkington. It's a quick tap and go.
Play it.
And once again, it's a turnover by Air Force. Counter attack by BYU. Goodness gracious, nobody
Knock on.
wants the ball.
That's off,
And
guys.
there goes the whistle for half time.
Who's that blue captain? The ball's out when there's a motion to move it out. It's sitting there. That was
Boy, there's been a lot of turnovers in this one, Justin.
Both sides, both ways, yeah.
Coach Smith is having a... Here we go. This is a demonstration of BYU's power in their scrums. Plenty of going to ground in these manoeuvres in the back line. And of course, Elkington shows how powerful he is. He's a solid player at loose forward.
I think Coach will be happy with Calvin's kicking in the first half too. 4 for 5, I think, is what we have him down for.
I think he's acquitted himself quite well, don't you think? Yeah. And here's Elkington again. Looks for the opening. Always has his eyes up. looking around, sees the opportunity.
Joe Pakula had a good first half. He's such a strong runner, and he keeps the defenders off of him. At other times, he goes into tackle and kind of coughs the ball up and gets impatient with the offload.
And there we go, Schofield just uses his power and brush off his defender.
A few things to fix in the second half, but the first half was pretty good by and large.
So at half-time, it's BYU 33, Air Force 3.
So why did you choose to play for BYU?
I chose to play for BYU because I came here as a high school rugby player, and I went and toured BYU prior to returning back to New Zealand, where I'm from. And I was interested in the team, and I heard great things about them. So after my mission, I decided to come back to BYU and play. And the altitude is definitely a huge factor because I'm playing at sea level where I came from, and so my lungs had to get used to it, and it was real tough getting used to the mountain air. Yeah, it took a few weeks before the burning started to go away, and then I started feeling comfortable. I was just thirsty every single day, and like every single hour I had to drink something because it was just so thin. But other than that, rugby here is pretty similar, and some good competition. I grew up playing the game, and it's important because it taught me how to play. It taught me how to make friends as a kid, but it also taught me skills that I've been able to use in other sports. You know, it helps me physically, and it keeps me healthy. And my parents would rather me be outside playing than be inside watching TV. Some of the life lessons I've learned is about working as a team. I mean, that kind of just carries over to everything in your life. Being able to work with others than yourself, because it's not just an individual sport, it's a team sport. So you have to learn to get along, you have to learn to work, you have to rely on others and trust in them for you to succeed. And so I had a lot of faith in my players, and I had a lot of trust in them, and it helped my friendship with them, and it helped my ability to communicate and to play effectively. As a team captain, I'm responsible for helping the players understand their roles and responsibilities in the team, and also enforcing the discipline that is required. The players have to know the consequences for not performing or taking care of their responsibilities. So as a team captain, you kind of have to be, you're not in control of them, but you're responsible for a lot of the things that they do. And so as a team captain, you actually get to know the players, which I enjoy, because you're more personable and you actually know them. You're not just a player in the team, you actually know all your players and their strengths and weaknesses, and you're more able to help them.
All right, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a great second half. Go to the bathroom, get in that. See you in the second half. Thanks.
Hello. I got 2 more. They're in my pocket. I'm going to whittle it down. I need people to cheer, and I'm going to whittle it down so I can give them, okay? Ready?
No worries, you're good. You'll be good. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So do you have a list of... I'll let you say who's come on because I don't know who they are.
Looks like we're back underway here at Southfield in the second half.
Now, Air Force is taking ball from a ruck here at their at BYU's 10-metre line. Going in field, looks like it's going to go out to a brawling prop coming through. Once again, it's a pick and go. They're making some ground here, Air Force.
You'd expect them to come out of a halftime speech from a coach with a little aggression and a little extra effort maybe, huh?
13, solid defense by BYU, takes number 13, Miller, to ground. Air Force still has possession. It's moved out to Hancock, and that is going to draw the ire of the referee.
Down, please.
Apparently it was a high tackle, and the referee is telling him to keep it down.
High tackle.
Of course, in rugby, you're not allowed to take a player out by tackling them above the shoulder line. Air Force takes the kick to the sideline, and it's going to be around about the BYU 22. It'll be interesting to see if there's some adjustments with their scrum for the second half, Justin.
Line blue.
That's the Air Force I'm referring to.
Yeah, I can't tell if they've made any substitutions in the scrum.
Play on. The ball.
Air Force driving it, keeping it up. Now this could be an effective move by the Falcons. BYU is still solid though. Now they've forced Air Force to put it on the ground.
Last foot.
And that gives BYU's defense an opportunity to reset. Number 19 goes through.
No hands, no hands.
That'll be Agostino.
That's a try.
And that's a try by Air Force.
So they came out and they made a couple of substitutions. It looks like they substituted a prop, the hooker, a lock, and a wing.
Now BYU was caught napping on that one, and we're 2.5 minutes into the second half, and Air Force has managed to dot down a try. First try of the game for the Falcons. And once again, it's unusual to see a lock forward, Basham, taking the conversions. That's usually the domain of a back line player. However, like I mentioned before, one of the best locks of all time, one of the best captains of all time, Australian captain John Eales, who was a lock, he was called on to do these sorts of kicks and was very successful at it. And he's pulled it off to the left on this one. So Air Force 8, strikes first draws first blood in the second half.
Felt like a whole different level of energy from them, didn't it, right at the beginning of the half? They came out running hard. They broke a couple of tackles. They made an offload. They kept possession on their own ball and ended up getting rewarded with the try.
Kick goes high and deep. BYU's there to join in on the proceedings. Takes the Air Force player out over the sideline, so it'll be a line out to BYU just inside the Air Force 22-meter line.
So BYU made a substitution at halftime. They brought on Joseph Nichols at scrum half for Luke Maki.
Okay.
And Ryan Blazer came on at fullback in the first half after Josh Whippy was injured.
BYU taking it up the middle, sets it. They have options right and left.
Play on.
This goes left to Whippy.
They got bodies out there.
And our new replacement, number 21.
Ryan Blazer.
Ryan Blazer scores the try for BYU. Now that's the way to come back when your opposition's put a try on you, to immediately attack and do the same to them. So this basically nullifies the effect that Air Force had on BYU a minute ago.
It was perfect timing. He was on.
Young Ryan Blazer, he is the brother of John Blazer, who played for us, who was an All-American, and their other older brother, I believe his name was Scott Blazer. There were at least 3 of them, and Ryan, I believe, is the baby of the family.
I remember John Blazer. He had speed, and he had speed to burn.
He still does. We played in an alumni game down in Las Vegas last year, and he was still the fastest guy on the field.
Well, good on him. Some players, you just can't get the game of rugby out of them, can you?
Calvin Whiting with his new tee.
He's very proud of that, I hear.
Oh, he was excited on Wednesday. Yeah, he had to tell me all about it.
Steps up. And
did that sneak through? Oh, boy.
That snuck through the upright, so that was a good kick.
5 for 6.
Flirting with danger, but he managed to put it through. So BYU goes to 40, Air Force 8. The wind's picked up a bit here in this second half. And now, rather than coming from the east, it's swung around and it's coming from the west, so it favors BYU at this point. We have a drive up the middle.
Release one.
Air Force putting on a solid defense, keeping BYU honest. And here we go, BYU on a counter.
Still advantage.
Tui,
Leave it white.
solid looking player, puts it down.
That's fine.
Anderson picks it up from the wing. Now it goes out to the back line.
Over.
Whippy fires it across. It goes to Whiting. Still going. Air Force has managed to pull this down just inside their 10-meter line.
Roll away, white. Dig it, blue.
BYU is going to run this ball close to the previous
That's
set.
fine. He was on his feet.
Setting up an attacking motion down the side here. The Air Force, I should say, the referee has called a penalty on BYU. Did you see what that call was, Justin? I'm not sure what that was, but here we go. Air Force puts it back inside BYU's 10-meter.
Looks like we tried to get a couple of subs on, then they came off. Now they're going back on. So BYU sending on big Nick Purcell at lock for Matt Jensen. And it looks like Winnie Elkington, the twin to Otta, is going on at number 8 for Joe Pakula. Joe had a pretty good game so far.
Hold on. Hold on. All right. 10, please.
Air Force wins their line out.
Wait.
Air Force. Once again, it's a turnover. Now, the referee's going to call this up because BYU's knocked this one on. That came from BYU's defensive pressure and forced the Air Force to knock it on.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Not
Listen to
happy
me,
with the scrum.
Don't call it on yourselves, okay? I will call it.
Now this seems like that
Right.
both teams are wanting to engage earlier
Play
than
to
the
my whistle,
referee
not
would
yours.
like them to. So he's
Forward,
resetting
yell,
them.
shout.
So Nichols, that halfback position,
Crouch.
replacing Mocky. He will be putting the ball in.
Sit.
He's selected a
Straighter,
great
please.
pair of shoes today, the red ones. Whippy. Oh, that was a great fake pass. He fed it back to himself. Still going. BYU attacking. 10 metres outside the Air Force 22, but they've turned it over. Air Force now
No one's behind
with
for
an opportunity
BYU.
to do a counter-attack, but they've opted to do the kick. BYU also has opted to do the kick, and it comes down just outside of Air Force's 22 metre. Countering attack down the left side.
Did he steal it? No.
With me.
Comes out to the forwards. Air Force forwards drive
Blue.
forward.
Release. Roll away, Blue.
Now they're consolidating the
Blue.
game here. They're trying to get away from a panic, but BYU has spoilt this.
Coming in from the side, guys.
Referee is
Coming in from
calling
the side of the ruck.
a penalty against BYU for side entry again.
They used to talk about coming in through the gate, right?
Yeah.
Pretend there's a gate there and you have to come in through a gate on the back of the ruck, and if you come from the side, then you get pinged.
Yes. Air Force launches this 5 metres inside BYU's half.
It was a good kick.
Blue, let's come through the gate, guys.
Referee reminding BYU to come through the gate, and that is being applied to Air Force as well. Line out down the middle. It goes out to BYU's back line. Whiting, what's he done here? He's gone for the option, hit a kick.
There's a lot of space.
Let's see if it stays outside. No, it's gone inside the end goal. Air Force manages to get back there and press for a 22-metre dropout.
That wasn't a bad option, really, by Calvin. You know, if their backs are coming up hard on attack and there's no one behind, put the ball back there, and more times than not, we'll go down and get that.
Yeah, it was a horse race for the ball. Dropout 22, Air Force. Oh, my golly. that was very close to an intercept.
Nearly a pick six right there.
Now we've got some attack. And, of course, let's see here. No. Ball hasn't gone to hand and gone out over the sideline. So it'll be an Air Force put in here.
On my mark, guys. On my mark.
Short line out. Taken down by Air Force.
Not gone by Blue, guys.
Referee didn't like that. BYU's actually knocked this one on. So we'll be setting a scrum.
At what point is it appropriate to thank the grounds crew for putting this field together like this?
I think it's right now, Justin.
It's glorious, isn't it? It's flat, it's smooth,
Closer,
it's
guys,
green.
closer.
You don't find green grass in Utah County this time of year.
Both you and I have been around this great country of ours, and we have to admit that this field here at BYU's South Field is second to none.
Sorry about that.
They do a
No
very
pushing
good
on the
job here,
inside.
like you said, Justin.
Between the
Will you
grounds
get
crew and the
closer together?
administration,
I'm only gonna call fine if you guys are
taking
ready.
care of the teams that play on this field, obviously the soccer teams, and now the women's and men's rugby teams both play here. They have the video scoreboard. You know, if you had told me 25 years ago when we were playing here that there would be a video board at one of our games.
Yeah, those were a few years ago, Justin. Scrum.
Wait,
Air
scrum.
Force. Solid.
Stay on.
Out she goes. Now the chip through, but it's intercepted here. It's actually blocked, not intercepted, but blocked. But nobody can manage this ball.
Leave him, leave him. First knock on by
So the
White,
first
guys.
knock on will go against the Air Force, and BYU will have the put in.
You know, that looked like it might have worked if it hadn't hit his legs. You know, I think there was a gap and that ball was going to just grub through there. They might have had a shot at something.
Yeah, it's a problem that the ball can't go through a body, can it? So until they figure that one out. But here we go. BYU for the put-in.
5, 6.
Solid scrum. Nice set out the back. It goes right.
Oh,
We're still moving up the field. BYU still moving.
they're on the 5.
They set a ruck here. It's coming out. The forwards keep it in there. And of course, that is a try by a forward player. And we have, as the try scorer,
Looks
Elkington.
like Ada Elkington, yeah. Maybe we'll get a replay in a second when that ball was moving out. And then they passed back in. It left a big gap in the defense.
The try scorer here, Elkington, wearing the number 7, he has had quite a work rate today. He's been around the field, and his work rate is showing.
Looks like we have a substitution. It's going to be number 17, Logan Nye. Let's see. Coach is talking to Jackson, but Ricky's also walking over. Who's he going on for? Looks like he's going on for Ricky.
Okay, that'll be the tight head prop substitution.
Calvin Whiting with the kick again.
And there it goes. I think he's overcooked this one and pushed it to the left.
It's funny, after he kicks it, when we see his body lean one way or the other.
Yeah, trying to put in what we term from back home, a little bit of English.
A little body English, yeah. Didn't work that time. I couldn't tell which way he missed it. Could you tell from the broadcast?
Yeah,
was
he's
left or
pushed
right?
it across the face of the goal, and it's gone to the left of the posts. Now, this is going to be interesting. It was attempted to go 10. The wind caught it. And as you could see from our vantage point, it did a banana move in the air and went back over the halfway line.
It's a bit windy, huh?
Now, that didn't quite work out as Air Force had planned.
Yeah, a little gust. It's the wind starting to pick up a little bit coming from the west this time.
Yeah, so it started out from the east, and now it's gone and swung around to the west.
Approach. 5, 6.
Put in, one by BYU. It's out the back there.
Nice play, Joseph.
Joseph's got it going here. Anybody in support? Yes. They've got it. They move it right again. Elkington goes forward. Nice round the body pass. Still going out wide. And it is going out wide. Whippy has it. He's got it out there. They still maintain possession though.
Some more.
They're trying to get him to the touch line and
Roll away, White.
Comes back out to the back line again. Whippy takes his options. Sees that it's not what he wants to do by moving it wide, keeps it safe and drives
BYU's
forward.
got a lot of backs out to the left here.
Advantage.
Barnage here. Referee's got his hand out.
No advantage, guys. 5. Next time, yellow.
Okay, now he's admonished number 5 of Air Force, that being Mr. Lane.
Listen to me and you'll be fine.
It's an offside call, so BYU awarded the penalty. And that is a great strike.
Did it stay in? Oh.
That
boy.
is a great strike
Whoa.
by Jared Whippy. That has ended up 10 metres outside the Air Force goal line. He was actually close to the far side too, wasn't he, Justin?
Yeah.
And he pulled that one off. So that would have been a kick of probably 50 metres there.
I think that's an acute angle.
Whippy, nice. Anybody there to pick it up? Elkington, once again, there's that man Elkington. He's everywhere.
Stay on.
Oh,
Stay on.
it's gone to ground and Air Force is trying to mess this one up for BYU. Whiting sidesteps in, pushes a man off, feeds it out wide. Still going. Just outside the Air Force 22 metre.
There's a,
Driving up the middle.
there's a gap.
And it looks like another try for BYU.
It looks like Wynn Elkington, Otta's twin brother.
Well worked try, that one. And here we see forwards keeping it close to the ruck. And our replacement
Wynn Elkington
takes it over for the try.
You know, when the first receiver can break a tackle and then draw 2 more defenders and make an offload, you're going to win that one every time. 3-on-1 leaves a big gap. I see in front of us our fine friend Dean Ormsby.
He's a connoisseur of the game of rugby. Just popped in to say hi.
He can't hear me talking to him.
Dean Ormsby's played for BYU a few years ago.
Coached many of us too. He's right in front of the post, isn't he? Just off a little bit, but
yes, this should be a chip, but nothing's guaranteed in the game of rugby. Not even a kick this close. Ball's fallen off. Now, one thing to say about this: if the ball had fallen off while he was moving towards to kick it, then he would have had to pick it up and do a quick drop kick, because the Air Force players on the goal line could have were at liberty to attack him. But because the ball fell off that tee before he made his approach to the kick, here's the ability to reset the kick. Yeah, that's a nice easy chip for Mr. Whiting. That takes the score to 52-8. We're halfway through the second half. Now the temperature's coming up here. It's spiked up a bit, probably 4 or 5 degrees. Players would be feeling this. Wasn't taken on the pickup there. Ball hopped.
it looks like Jeff Ott, number 16, is on for Jackson Kaka at
Fine.
These scrums haven't been as dramatic as they were in the first half, but now that I've said that,
Yeah, on
BYU
cue.
brings it back on cue.
Roll away.
Now let's see how the referee adjudicates this. Yep, that's what we saw.
You know, Jeff Ott got on the field, and the first thing he did was go in there and contest that tackle and won a penalty. Good start to his afternoon.
Now let's see what Jared Whippy does with this. And that is a nice healthy kick as well. Takes play just inside the Air Force 10-meter line. Yes, we've had some wholesale exchanges of players in the second half. No doubt both teams are experimenting this stage of the season. They want to see as many players as they can out on the field. Ball moves wide, back inside to Elkington. He beats a player, he sidesteps another player. This could be all over here. And a try to Ara Elkington again. How many's he made today? I've lost count.
We need a statistician. Who's in charge around here?
Next game we'll have our statistician available.
On the replay, let's see. So we had a nice...
he beats one man, sidesteps another, keeps going, sees the opportunity, says, okay, I'll take this, and dots down for the try.
After that first pass, it was a great individual effort. Has he had 4 today?
It's getting close if it's not.
Yeah, you can't. Has to be someone playing in the game.
Maybe we could hire Kimball Kerr, former collegiate All-American, USA Eagle, to come be our statistician.
That would be good. Kimball would be good on that one. I know he keeps the boys in line as well. He's Kimball Kerr being a past BYU player, All-American, and he played on the US national team and went to the World Cup in 2003 Sydney, Australia. BYU's fortunate to have Kimball assisting with the coaching, and also this man sitting next to me, Justin Nadol. Good coaches. Quick drop out here. Didn't catch BYU off guard, of course, because they were ready for it.
That was out on the full, wasn't it? Yeah, back to the middle. I wasn't watching that conversion. Did we make that conversion?
Yeah, he's put that over. That was converted. It's 59-8 now. But the kicker has overcooked this one. So we'll be bringing him back into the midfield for a scrum BYU.
This is another opportunity, you know, that we were talking about earlier, where you've got a center scrum. When you're on attack, you just look in your chops at this. And it looks like on our side, on the to the left side, they've got a nice overlap already. Yep, here they come.
Nick, there we go. Goes right out to number 11, Anderson. He puts it back. Whippy's there to pick it up. He has no other choice, but makes his choice to go straight up.
Quick
now
recycle.
to the back line. Forwards actually in the back line, and they're making the play here. Moving inside the Air Force 22-meter line.
Thank you.
Goes out again. This time it goes out wide. This could be a wing three-quarter try, and it is. That was a well-worked move there. Air Force defense were in tatters.
Another one for Kevin Schofield, huh?
And he's in.
Here comes the replay. Boy, they moved that all the way across the field in 2 passes.
Yeah, the one thing that stands out to me on this particular maneuver here is that they drew their defender. There was no sliding across by Air Force. BYU did not give them an opportunity to slide across and close out that field on the sideline, which made it a pleasant exchange for the wingers to pick up the ball and go in for the try.
Can you find out how many subs you guys have had?
Looks like he's just outside the 22, and he's on the and 15 in from the side, huh?
Yep, he's got the wind to boot too, so it's not a question of distance on this one.
No. At practice on Wednesday, he lined one up from 70 meters and he went right down the middle. He missed it by 1 foot.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, he's got a big leg.
There's the kick. And he steered this one through and true. So now BYU breaks into the 60 bracket. They're now at 66. If Air Force is going to do something, now's the time to do it. In fact, they may be past that time by now. BYU drives forward. Still picks it up by BYU forward.
You know, the reserves that have come on for BYU are playing really hard. I mean, they're trying to make a name for themselves, and they've got a lot of energy, and they're fresh.
Nickel drives forward. Out she goes. Elkington back inside.
Here he goes.
There's his brother Elkington going up the field. Drives forward down at the 22-meter. Looking for a set here. No.
Leave it, Blue.
It's a bit messy. And referee decides to give a penalty against BYU. Do you know what that call was for, Justin?
Holding up. Is it obstruction? I don't know.
Now, somebody's hurt here.
Oh, no, he was saying we need to... Yeah, it's out his arm.
Yeah.
Here's a replay.
Now, let's see what happens here.
Oh, that's when...
He goes to ground.
You got to swap.
I'm not quite sure what happens here.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we do have an injury, so we've got a timeout on the field. Is that Ara Elkington?
That's Wynn. That's his brother.
Oh, that's his other brother. From the looks of it, they're holding his wrist, so he could have hurt his wrist here. We've got to take our hats off too to the BYU medical staff at these games. They do a fabulous job bringing these guys back from injury.
Yeah, the work they do on game day is amazing, and the work they do with rehab all during the week.
Okay, so it's an elbow injury here. He's certainly ginger with this one. Doesn't look like he's happy.
It's a gap, guys. Gap.
But he's in good hands. So here's the line out. Air Force taps it off the top. Goes to the fly half. Out to the inside centre, number 12, Weber. And there goes one of our papers. The wind has picked up here.
Stay your feet, White.
Air Force has it, but they don't seem to be making much ground on this. In fact, they've elected to kick. And they've taken it just outside their 22 metre.
White, stay on your feet, please.
Well, under 12 minutes to go. I think some of the reserves are going to be excited to try and put one in here.
Oh, lost at the top. It'll be a knock on, so it's an advantage to the Air Force. They're called to do whatever they want to do here. Still no progression, of course. This doesn't look good for Air Force because BYU's defense is holding solid. And there we go again.
Yeah, the one thing they've worked on and been taught for years is not to chase off the edge of that ruck. They'll plant themselves in defensive position on the edge of that ruck and just stay there. So the pick and jam doesn't find holes.
Doesn't work that well against BYU,
not that well.
See, we're still moving. The ball's moving laterally, left and right, by Air Force, but for the last minute, it hasn't gone anywhere up the field. And
straight out of bounds.
At the end there, it's lost out of bounds just inside their 22 metre. Air Force's 22 metre.
Back 10. Back 10, please.
It's up front line out there. No, BYU can't control this, so Air Force has picked it.
Roll away, Blue. Roll away, Blue. Come on.
They're keeping it there. Consolidating what they're going to do.
Guys,
now the referee didn't like something here.
10.
Now he's calling BYU for not rolling away, so if they can get that out of their game,
That's fine.
that will probably take the penalty count down.
Leave it.
Air Force moving.
Blue. Leave it, Blue.
About 8 metres inside their own half.
Coming in by White. Going forward. It's not going to come out. Scrum right. Going forward, White.
So it's a scrum. Air Force. Now let's watch this to see if there's any adjustment with the new crew on here. It'd be interesting to see if the support players can put forth the workload that the starters have here.
Sit.
Air Force putting.
Up, guys, up. Guys, get closer together, please. When I want on the crouch, I want you guys ear to ear, okay?
Referee saying that they were too far apart on that one, which caused them to go to ground.
Crouch. Fine. Sit. Yep.
This seems to be a better scrum. And here we go, we're going off to the right. We're playing it inside the railroad tracks here. And it's taken out over the sideline. Ryan Blazer was determined to stop their progress.
Our last two lineouts, we've lost them both, right? Let's see if we can get this
off the top. Solid run up the field by number 16, Jeff Ott. Nye passes inside to his lock.
Guys, no advantage, high tackle.
Now the penalty count's coming up here. We're in the dying stages of the game. In fact, we've got 8 minutes to go. And if you think you're going to see any loss of concentration, it's usually at the stage of the game. Oh, that's a great breakthrough. Still going. BYU forwards there. It comes wide here. Going through, keeping it within the 10 metres from the forward pack. Making Air Force honest. Oh, and we've got a knock on. We've got a player there that wasn't quite expecting that one.
Advantage over. Go away, Blue.
Air Force playing it, the referee playing advantage.
Earlier today, before the men's game that we're watching, the women's team played their first game ever on Southfield. They've been recently brought into BYU as a team in the extramural department, and first time in history, BYU Women's Rugby has been a fully recognized team. Congratulations to Tomasi Waka and his coaching staff, and to all the women players, past and present. I know they've been at it for a long time. They work hard. They've had a very good team over the years, and kudos to BYU administration for bringing them into the fold.
BYU was attacking, but now it's turned it over. Right on the Air Force's 22-metre.
Leave it, Blue. Last foot, please.
Now the forwards want to have a go
Roll
at
away,
this.
Blue.
Moving into the middle of the field.
Release tackle, release tackle.
Carl drives through, goes to ground. Now the ball's moving wide. Oh, somebody lost their assignment there.
Forward.
I think as the season goes on, you won't see that sort of thing because players become familiar with what each other are doing. And in that particular case, they weren't quite meeting of the minds. But I'm sure, like I say, as you go through the season, those hookups become better and better.
Everything sharpens up. Your combinations get better. The man you're playing next to becomes more familiar, and they find the right people for the right positions. Everything changes as it moves along.
Oh, referee gets stood on. He'll be feeling that for a little while. And back line, BYU's back line, skip a man. Now we've got Whippy. Air Force holding them though.
Nice
here
pass.
Here we go. Here we go. Here's trouble.
Johnny Lane.
And
got it in.
Lane's in there. He was determined nobody was going to stop him.
Well, it's a nice straight line. You know, you're coming on support and you stay straight, you're a lot harder to bring down.
Yep.
He just went straight up the guts on that one.
Yep, north-south. And that's exactly what he did.
Let's take a look at the replay.
Yep, he's determined to go straight. And that's exactly what he does.
Dragged one in with him, didn't he?
Yeah, even if he's got a trailer behind him, he's still going to go.
Good for Johnny Lane. Calvin Whiting with the conversion attempt again. He's got his target in his mind.
And that's what a kicker needs, is confidence. And he is growing in confidence. BYU 73, Air Force 8. Now we've only got about 4 minutes left. And this is a deep kick. What's having a factor on this ball right now? We've got Elkington going through, sets it up. Backline's moving it, and oh!
Advantage, Blue.
That was almost an interception.
Guys, no advantage. Knock up by White.
That's what happens. You take the opportunity.
I don't have number 22 on my substitution list. Do you have?
He's snuck in on us.
Crouch. Fine.
Scrum set. BYU to put in.
That's Kingston Matua, number 22, playing scrum half now.
Ball to hand here. Back and forth, moving forward.
Leave it, White. Leave it, White.
Air Force is setting up on a flat defense here. Now, we did get past, BYU I should say, did get past the defensive line, but couldn't hold their feet. And it's gone out over the sideline at the halfway line. Tell you what, Justin, that wind has really picked up, isn't it?
Yeah, the gusts are causing some trouble when the ball's up in the air. That restart was an example of that. Looked like a center fielder lost.
Wasn't help. All the way, what? Blue.
Air Force driving through. They're just going to do the pick and roll. How they've moved it out. Nobody there to take the pass. It seems to be a mismatch here. 2-on-3.
We're still at the end of the game, and the BYU guys are keeping their shape on defense. You'll see the realignment happens pretty quickly. They're coming up together. They're keeping their spacing. If you see the line out to the side here. Nowhere for the
yes,
Air Force to go.
We're going to the 10-meter line on BYU. Air Force is putting in an effort here, but they've lost it here. Now BYU, what will they do with it? They've got some pace here. Does this look like a breakaway?
Kevin Schofield again.
Certainly is a breakaway. And BYU goes in for another try.
I believe that's a hat trick for Schofield today. That's his third one.
He's a hungry man for a try.
Here comes the replay.
I suspect he might be one of your try scorers this year, that young fella.
Was that Zane Mendenhall with a nice pass from the midfield?
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. He's got a bit of pace too. This.
Love to see the front row guys out there in the back line making passes and sending wings away for tries. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Schofield needs to go give Mendenhall a little hug.
Game has definitely turned into to be one-sided.
Look at the grin on Mendenhall's face. Oh no, that's just because he's tired.
So he's grimacing because he's tired, not because he's happy.
That's a good play. Well done.
Now, time on the clock strikes full time. So we'll see. We'll see if this will be it. And of course, the referee has the sole call on this one. There's the kick.
Looks like he made it.
And it's a good kick too. And there's the full-time whistle. Air Force comes to BYU. BYU dishes it out. 80-8. Congratulations, BYU.
You know, I think the coaches will be happy with the effort. It was a full 80-minute deal. You know, there was no letdown at the end. And, you know, when you're ahead by a lot of points, you're excited and you want to score more. But they didn't lose their shape on defense. They kept their attack patterns going. It was nice.
So final score, 80-8.
Here are some of the game
BYU
highlights.
BYU's wing three-quarters today had a feast when the ball was moved wide, particularly in the second half, latter part of the first half, and certainly in the second half. The wing three-quarter pairings, they scored, well, a bag full of tries, quite frankly.
Yeah, I was proud of the forward pack and their set piece. The scrums we obviously dominated, and I think we won nearly all of our own lineouts. Well, there were two here at the end of the second half that we lost, but set piece was a shining part of the game for BYU today.
I think the player for me that surprised me with his work rate was Elkington. Elkington. That boy was all over the field.
Yeah, they don't call him captain for nothing, huh?
Is that what they call him?
No, he's the captain today. He was game day captain.
Good on him. There you go. He led by example, didn't he? Okay, next home match is on March 5th, which is next weekend. 1 p.m., same field, BYU South Field. And this will be
Western Washington.
Washington.
Sorry, Central Washington.
Central Washington.
Sorry, Central.
Cougars up there, coming to town to play BYU. So don't miss it. That will be a good game to watch. And for me and for Justin Nadol, we'll sign it off now and have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon.